Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Darkside Phil, and this is the Level 1 podcast for Saturday, the 8th of July, 2023. Oh, what a glorious weekend we have. Or do we? Well, let's talk a little bit about that, because this weekend's schedule got thrown into a little bit of disarray. Normally, today would be my React day, where we would do the podcast, and then we would jump over to my sister channel, DSP Reacts, and we would do DSP versus the Internet, my weekly Clips React show, where members nominate funny and interesting clips from all over the Internet to watch, and I watch them back and react to them. It's been a successful show. I've launched way back in February. It's been going strong ever since. But a monkey's wrench has been thrown into our plans. Very annoying when a monkey throws a wrench at you. First of all, it hurts. If it hits you, it's made of solid metal, and it could break some bones and cause some bruising, some contusions. However, even if you avoid the monkey's wrench, sometimes it'll still screw with other things. And this weekend is very much that case, because later this afternoon, I'm going to be interrupted, all right? I don't know exactly the time, but I'm going to be interrupted, and when I get interrupted, that means I have to stop streaming, or at least go on a break for likely an extended period of time. All right. Now, since I don't actually know the extent of what's going on, I can't tell you if this is going to be like, oh, let's take a break and I'll be back in 30 minutes. Or let's take a break and I'll be back in an hour. Or, oh, let's just end the stream because I'm not going to be able to come back. I don't know. All right. And I don't like having that air of uncertainty. I don't. I like having more control over my streams and my content. But it was a matter of completely canceling today's stream entirely, or doing a stream with that air of uncertainty. And I opted for the air of uncertainty. I'd rather stream for you guys and then have to take a break and maybe come back than not stream at all. Okay? So, because we did this, because I'm doing this, I decided to swap the streams. And that means that today will actually be the gameplay that was supposed to be tomorrow, and tomorrow will be DSP versus the Internet. So if you like the Internet React show, the Clips React show over on DSP Reacts, it's happening tomorrow on Sunday. Now, this is interesting because this may open up discussion about future scheduling. We'll talk about that in a second. So, that means today we're going to have a full gameplay day here on DSPGaming. My first stream will be Final Fantasy 16 continuing on. We just had a big time skip in the game. A 5-year time skip. And I don't know, what happens now if the plot picks up, goes back down to being slow as dirt, because we had 2 hours of boredom and 1 hour of extreme action and fun on the last stream, which seems to be the pacing for this game. Bore you to tears for 2 hours of just filler, and then all of a sudden cram a bunch of action into like an hour with all kinds of interesting plot developments and things, and then go back to going slow as dirt and like a slug again. So I guess we'll see what happens on the stream today. I'm hoping for more interesting things than more boring things, but I can't make the game be good. You know, I can't make the writers of the game learn the concept of pacing, which apparently they don't understand, especially in 2023. I shouldn't be playing 15 hours of the game and only be interested for 5 of them. If I'm bored for 2/3 of the time I've played your game, you have failed. And they have failed. Sorry, I hate to say it. Even Final Fantasy 15, with its open world kind of driving around concept, was way more interesting than this game in the first 15 hours. So, we're going to continue on with this game this week. And by the way, we talked about this at length yesterday, but let's address it again. I have a group of my audience that actually keep asking me to drop Final Fantasy 16. They're like, dude, this is game. You're 15 hours in. The game is so boring. Don't play it anymore. Do anything else. Go back to Elden Ring. Play a new game. You know, there's other games coming up this month. Do something else. And I'm like, you know, it sucks. I committed 15 hours. I already spent $70 on it. I am a fan of Final Fantasy. I've loved Final Fantasy since I was a kid. You know, Final Fantasy 2/4, which was an SNES game, was the first one I ever played. I loved it. I've played like every numbered one. And it's unfortunate that this one, sadly, doesn't seem to be living up to expectations, which is hilarious because I had no expectations. Remember, I didn't spoil myself on this game at all. I just played it cold, and these are my honest feelings, not having had any previous expectations, just being transparent with you guys about what I think. So we're going to play it today, and we're going to play it again on Tuesday. I figure after 2 more major streams, all right, if this game isn't enough to hook us, I think we're done with it. All right? Now, I'm being honest with you, I don't want it to come to that. I'd rather have this continue as a playthrough over the month of July and into August till we finish it. But do we see the point of continuing on with a game that's not resonating with my audience at this point? And for me, I'm bored 2/3 of the time, you know? Like, I just don't get it. I'm disappointed, to say the least, at this point, but I do hope that things get better. I do hope that the game does get more interesting. I now have 3 different elemental abilities, right? I have fire and 2 aspects of fire, Phoenix and Ifrit. Then I've got Garuda, which is wind, and now I've got Rama, which is lightning, and I can alternate between these in combat, and I'll probably mess around with different builds in combat and stuff. We'll see. If anything, the combat's fine. It's just repetitive. Like, what I'm noticing now is, you fight the mob of enemies. Okay, these enemies are weak, so what do? You just do giant combos till they're all dead. Oh, here comes a guy who's a tank. Okay, so you beat him up, you dodge a bunch, you beat him up, you dodge a bunch, you beat him up, you dodge a bunch, stagger. Punish the stagger with the punishing move, the pull. Beat him up, stagger, beat him up, dodge, beat him up, dodge. Okay, finisher. It's very repetitive. And I hope that it's not like that the whole game, because if we're 15 hours in and we've seen the extent of what the combat is, I feel like it's going to be very boring. But we'll see. Again, let us continue this week, today and Tuesday. Let's give it a shot. Let's be honest with it. And I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to jump onto, the hate bandwagon that a lot of people have for the game. But I'm also not going to be a fanboy about it. I'm going to try to be, honest with you guys about my feelings. All right? So, because the schedule's different, Final Fantasy is today. I wish I could tell you if and when the interruption's going to happen. So here's the deal. If the interruption happens early, let's say we start playing within the first hour, all right? My hope is that it won't blast all day, and I'll be able to come back. But what I'll do is I'll probably just leave the stream on with the music playing, and if and when I can come back, I'll come back. I'll tell you, hey, I'm back. Let's continue. I'll probably post up on social media and, of course, on the channel page here on the community tab. Hey, I'm back. Come back, and we're resuming now for how much long we have left. If the interruption happens later on, like let's say the interruption happens at like 3 p.m., then I don't see the reason to come back, even if it's fast, what's the point of coming back for like 20 minutes, right? So it all depends on when the interruption happens, and I am planning on having a shorter podcast today. I don't see the point in going long on today's podcast, and in fact, I don't have that much to talk about on the show today, besides Street Fighter 6 yesterday, which, by the way, was my best day ever in Street Fighter 6. Like, superb gameplay, highest level gameplay I've done yet in the game. Not only did I happen to hit my 1,000th win in Street Fighter 6, which is amazing, okay, but I also leveled up my Blanca dramatically 2 levels of diamond. Just think about how crazy that is. 2 different freaking levels. All right? So it went really well. I had a great time yesterday on Street Fighter 6, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. That's really my only topic today. I don't really have much, like, there's no game news to talk about today or anything like that. So what we'll do, we'll go schedule Street Fighter 6, and then we'll do Q&A, shout-outs, and we'll be done with the podcast, likely end it early, try to jump into some Final Fantasy 16 gameplay and see how it goes from there, all right? Okay. All right. So, let us jump in, shall we? What's hilarious is that someone in the chat says, playing with the best character in the game will do that. Literally, no one thinks Blanca's the best character in the game. Everyone says the rushdown characters, such as Ken, Juri, Luke, DJ, everyone says that's the top tier, and likely Blanca is just under or 2 tiers under. No one says Blanca's top tier. You're an idiot. But that's the thing. My haters are so desperate to discredit anything that I do that they will take an entire day of successful gameplay, leveling up, you know, a really awesome day of Street Fighter yesterday, and they have to try to find excuses for why I did so well. Oh, because the character's overpowered. It's the best character in the game. He's going to get nerfed. Oh, you see, because Phil's lucky and he mashes and he gets... Fuck off. I'm good at Street Fighter, stupid. I always was. All I need to do is apply myself and practice, and then I will actually get good. I haven't done that in over a decade, and that's why I've sucked, because I didn't like Street Fighter V. If I apply myself to these games, I will do good, and that's all it takes. Now, I'm not going to do good with every character, and I'm not a tournament-level player, but I'm not awful at Street Fighter. It doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter how hard you try, or how you try to rewrite history. I'm still good at Street Fighter. Deal with it, motherfuckers. By the way, the stream chat froze. Yeah, it did. Stream chat working for anyone? It's completely frozen on both of my screens here. But the stream's still rolling. Yeah, look at that. What happened to stream chat? You guys can't talk, right? It's frozen. You would think by now someone would have said something. It's completely frozen. I wonder if chat just crashed completely on YouTube and if my stream's about to crash too. My viewership is fluctuating, which means the stream's working. But chat just completely froze. Wow. I laid down the law so hard for the haters that the chat just crashed completely. That's interesting. Wow. I've never seen that one happen before. I guess I'll continue on. I hope that you guys can talk sooner rather than later. I have no idea what just happened, that no one can speak. That's kind of weird. Hopefully you'll be able to talk soon. Anyway, so let's talk schedule first. Let's get through the schedule for the rest of the week, and then we'll talk about how Street Fighter went yesterday, and then we'll get to, hopefully, Q&A if the chat unfreezes. What's funny is people are clicking on, you know those little interactive emotes you can click on, like the happy face, the party horn, the 100? Those are still working. That's the only thing that's working. Chat is completely frozen on my screen, but I'm seeing your little emote things pop up, so I know you're still there. They wouldn't be there. People weren't able to see the stream. Those wouldn't be popping up. They're popping up. It's just YouTube chat has completely crashed. Wow. I have no idea. Hopefully it comes back. It's been frozen now for 3 minutes and counting. Hopefully it comes back. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the schedule for the rest of the week, shall we? So, today, Final Fantasy 16 with an interruption. Don't know when. I'll let you know if and when I know. And we'll take that break. And if I can come back, great. And if not, because it's later in the stream, then that's it. But I'm going to try to make this a shorter podcast. All right? So that basically we can get more gameplay in if possible before the interruption. Tonight on the late stream, this is exciting. 6:45 p.m. Pacific time tonight. It is the conclusion of Diablo 4. After a month of playing, over 20 hours of gameplay, we're going to wrap up the narrative of the game. Now, I'm well aware that the game has tons and tons of content after the story wraps up. But for me, oh, the chat just unfroze. Casanova says, I just got here. That was 5 minutes my chat was frozen. 5 minutes frozen. That was interesting. Well, welcome back, everyone. All right, so anyway, tonight on the late stream, it's Diablo 4 continuing on. All right, and finishing. We're in the end game now. Like, we're in the final area. But we still have about about an hour to an hour and a half left in the game to finish it. And the reason I know that is because my wife just beat it the other day on our day off. Luckily I wasn't spoiled. She beat it when I was gone running the errands for the week. And, you know, she told me what was left. I'm like, okay, I should definitely beat it unless I really get my ass handed to me. If I get my ass handed to me, then that's one thing. If I have to maybe go off and grind and level up a bit, then I guess, you know, it is what it is. We'll have to see how it goes tonight, okay? But I should beat it. Like, time-wise, I have enough time, but the question is how hard is the end of the game? If it's too tough and I'm not leveled enough and I have to go grind for a stream, then I might have to do that. So be it, right? We'll see. But, probable conclusion of Diablo tonight on the late stream, okay? We'll see what happens. Tomorrow, like I said, what a weird day tomorrow. So we'll have a level 1 podcast in the morning, and then after that, we'll do DSP versus the Internet React show over on DSP Reacts, and that's it. Like, literally, that's all, because the late stream is no stream. I have to film private React videos for my patrons for the month, so that's going to take up the entire segment that would have been, like, the late stream, and, it's that simple. Like, I'm kind of shot tomorrow. It's not really a full streaming day for me, okay? Well, I will come back full force on Monday. Monday's first stream will be Street Fighter 6, and I've chosen either Lily or Marisa, one or the other, okay? And I hope that you guys will join me for that, because it's a return character. You know, I'm going to try to level up with those characters. I haven't played with them in a while, actually. Both Lily and Marisa, I haven't played in ranked in ages. So to actually jump back in and try to learn, what I'll do is, like I've been doing, I'll watch tech videos. I'll try to absorb knowledge on these characters while I watch these videos, and then come back stronger on Monday when I play. Monday night will be a late night stream of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We're actually about halfway through the final dungeon, so we'll try to complete the final dungeon. We'll see if we can do it or not. All that's left in Tears of the Kingdom is the final dungeon, all right, and then the road to Ganon and the actual Ganon fight. But for what I'm to understand, it's going to be quite challenging for me, because I don't have a ton of hearts, all right, and I don't have armor leveled up. So people are saying, yeah, it might be tough for me, which is why they guided me to get things like the fast travel and stuff like that, so that way I don't get screwed over. And if I die, I can try right from the start. So we'll see how it goes, all right? We'll definitely see how it goes on Monday night and go from there. Tuesday, more Final Fantasy 16, so that'll be the second Final Fantasy 16 stream of the week. And then Tuesday night, maybe more and the conclusion of Diablo. Or if we've already beaten Diablo tonight, then Tuesday night we'll do something different. And we have some options. I would say option number 1, all right, would be the World Tour mode of Street Fighter 6. This is a mode that we talked about a ton before the game came out. A mode that likely some people actually bought the game to play. It's essentially its own isolated story mode, separate from the competitive nature of the game. It allows you to create your own avatar and run through this open world and beat up anyone in the streets to level up. And once you do, you get experience points, you get items, you train with the actual fighters of the game as trainers, you learn their abilities, and you level up your avatar to be a custom-made fighter character. It's a really neat concept, and it lasts about 20 hours of gameplay. Well, I've played 3. That's it. And then we never went back to it, okay? So this is a potential thing to do, you know, as a balance, and do it on Tuesday night. Another option would be to check out a game called Amnesia the Bunker. This is a survival horror game that released last month on Game Pass. It was rated quite highly, and literally, it didn't get any buzz. Why? Because it came out amongst the releases of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Street Fighter 6, and Diablo 4, and then right after that, Final Fantasy 16 came out. So all these giant blockbusters just destroyed it. And what's a shame is, everyone says it's really good. Like, everyone says it's quite a good game. It's fun, it's suspenseful, it's scary, it's got a good plot. And I'm like, dude, that's right up my alley. I would probably really like the game. But it's just sad that, like, it just went and kind of fizzed and no one ever knew it existed. So I'm down for that. If you guys want to see horror, I'm definitely down to start a horror game this, this week as well. We'll see. Or another option, we could return to Elden Ring. Now, I'll be honest, there's no rush for that. We could go back to Elden Ring literally at any point. It's no, we already got more than halfway through the game, right? We just beat the capital city. And what was the last thing we did? We went and we did the underground quest line. I forget the name of the city. The sunken forgotten city or whatever, but we fought the Lich Dragon and we destroyed it with magic, remember? We just absolutely melted the Lich Dragon with magic. And I was like, oh my god, I can't believe you can do that in this game. But that was like 2 months ago, right? So we could go back to that if you guys so desire. I'd be down for that. You know, try to finish up the game. We still have the final, you know, third of the game. Plus, we have the underground sewer dungeon, the first version of Moog, and all of that stuff, okay? So we'll see what you guys want as the next thing once Diablo concludes, but that all could possibly start Tuesday night. Then on Wednesday, I'm going to do one final stream of Street Fighter 6 for the week, and this one will likely be whoever I didn't use on Monday. So let's say I did 3 hours of Lily on Monday, then it'll probably be 3 hours of Marisa on Wednesday, or vice versa, for some good variety this week. So no new character this week. That's fine. I don't always have to be using a new character in the game. And in fact, by going back to the characters that I've already previously played, it's going to allow me to level up and do better rather than me focusing solely on new characters and choking. Also, here's something very important. We're going to talk about this in a moment, but I learned how to use parry yesterday. And this is now going to apply to all of my characters. So anyone I'm using, I'm going to be trying to parry, and it should be really well implemented, I feel. So we'll see. Okay. And then Wednesday night, the likely conclusion of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Because it really depends on how Monday night went, but it's likely going to end on Wednesday night. So there's very strong potential that both Diablo 4 and Zelda will conclude this week, which then will free up a lot of streaming time for us for the rest of the month to determine what we want to do on these other streams. And I'm open to suggestions. So I want to hear what you guys want. Let me know what you think. Right now, it seems like there seemed to be a consensus in chat that they wanted to see me start Amnesia the Bunker. So we'll see. Okay, that's the schedule for the week. Keep in mind, later this month, we got a special event going on. Right now, it's tentatively set for Sunday, July 30th. It is called The Dark Side of Machinima. It's a special React event exclusively on DSP Reacts, my sister channel. It'll be a day-long event with multiple levels. Part 1, I'm going to be watching and reacting to the documentary by June the King covering Machinima. It's about a 50-minute documentary. He's the one person on YouTube who's actually covered this thing in depth. Most people did not. They just glanced over or whatever. It's like, dude, this is one of the biggest partnership networks on YouTube, and it completely failed and went out of business. How did that happen? Well, he covers the story. So I'm going to be reacting to that. But in addition, I was one of the longest running partners of Machinima. Over 6 years I was with this company. All right? And boy, there were ups and downs. And this company, the best way I can describe them is kind of like, almost like bipolar. Where at one moment they'd be in this one mindset where they want to do this and they're gung-ho for it, and then all of a sudden you go to talk to them again, oh no, we canceled that, now we're doing this over here, we're doing it, wait, what? But we were so gung-ho to do this, and now you laid off the people even involved in it, and you're doing something different. Yeah, don't talk to us, we're busy with this thing over here. Then all of a sudden, 6 months later, they would contact you, oh, we got a special initiative, let's do this and this and this. Wait, but you said you wanted nothing to do with me, you're busy with this over here. Well, now let's do this. Like, huh? They were the most disjointed, disorganized company. I'm not surprised they went out of business. But I have a lot of history with them. And I saved all of my interactions with them over the years. I have tons of emails I'm going to sift through to try to find the most interesting stories and interactions I ever had with them, including some of the times when, for example, during the time when we were going through the false copyright takedown saga and how everyone was hitting me with false bullshit. And so Machinima took it upon themselves to try to counterclaim or claim people's videos on YouTube under the Machinima umbrella and try to take their ad revenue, which I didn't agree with, but they did it anyway. You know, some of the contract negotiations we went through that were absolutely ludicrously stupid. All right? Like, there's just a lot to talk about. And so we're going to cover that. All right? I have merch. I have things to show you from my years with Machinima that I'm probably the only person who still has this shit. You know, because I saved all my old shit. So it's going to be a fun event, something different and something fun and interesting for the React channel. And that's going to be the very end of the month. That's coming. All right. The month of August is going to be a celebration of my 15 years as a content creator. It's going to be my big anniversary month where we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. There's going to be a retrospective marathon where you guys are going to nominate your favorite moments in my 15-year history for us to watch back and react to. There's going to be a special tier maker where I rank all of the games that I previously said were like game of the year or runner-up and see how they hold up in 2023. I'm going to be doing some throwback playthroughs and projects where likely I'm going to be playing some older games to a full capacity with a modern playthrough with live streaming, web, face cam, interaction with you. We may even finally come to a determination of what to do with the old playthroughs I have archived on the hard drives, including Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare and the Suicide Kings stuff that I did, plus LA Noire and a few other retro things that have been lost to time. Perhaps we will upload them somewhere. All right? So there's a lot going on to celebrate my anniversary in the month of August. All right? I will say one thing. If anyone has a recommendation of a merchandise company that I can work with that is a actual intelligent, mature merchandise company that doesn't bend over because of dumbass woke culture and is so stupid that if my trolls message them to say things like Phil said this 10, 15 years ago, that they will say, oh, we don't want to work with that person, okay? You know, a company with a brain, but it's rare to find one these days. It really is. If someone knows of a merchandise company who'd like to work with me or I can work with to design merch and release a 15th anniversary line of clothing, I would love to do that. People have been asking me for this for years now, and I'm like, there's no point. Why put a bunch of time and effort into making a merchandise line if then my haters are just going to mass contact that company and be like, oh, so look what he said 10, 15 years ago in his videos, you know, cancel him. And then they kick me out of the company and say, we don't want to work with me, right? It's insanely stupid, especially because I never actually said anything offensively racist or anything like that. You know, back then it was all just jokes. No one took offense at the generalized comedy I used to do because woke culture has changed modern society. Now everyone thinks that things 10, 15 years ago are like the worst things ever on planet Earth and that you're the devil if you participated in them. So, if there's a company out there that's different, that actually will not bend the knee to a bunch of idiots on the internet, I'd like to work with them. Because I feel like we would make some money together. People are asking me for merch. I would make some silly designs and things that, yes, are making fun of me, which I'm totally okay with. You know, I want to make merch that people like and is funny, but at the same time people want. But I need to have a company that'll work with me. And I don't know if there any even exist, honestly. I just have no clue. Please send me suggestions if you know any. I'd definitely like to hear from you on this one because I don't know. And like I said, it's a lot of time and effort to make merch and work with a website to set it up. I'm not going to do it just to have it shut down. So let me know if you know anything about that. Okay, guys? Okay. So, let's continue. All right. Let's talk about Street Fighter 6 briefly. Yesterday, I played Street Fighter 6 all day long for Street Fighter Fridays. Yesterday, I exclusively played with Blanca. And ladies and gentlemen, I had the most successful day I've ever had in Street Fighter 6 yesterday. I had the most wins in one day. All right. I hit my 1,000th win, which is a huge milestone for me. I told you guys I'd be excited to see when I hit it, and we hit it. So now what I would say is, I don't know, my 1,500th win, and then maybe the 2,000th win, or maybe we should just track to the 2,000th win. I guess it depends. What do you guys think? I would say at the least the 2,000th win would be the next one, right? Let's figure this out together, what you guys would like to track towards, because obviously milestones are important and interesting, right? But in addition to that, unprecedented, I leveled up my Blanca 2 levels in Diamond. Not 1, 2 freaking levels. That's an accomplishment, because Diamond is rough. Diamond, everyone there is a tryhard. Like, literally, they call them sweaty tryhards. Almost everyone playing in Diamond has been playing this game since launch, has only been using 1 to 2 characters exclusively, have been hardcore playing those characters, and are doing their absolute best to win by any means necessary. I mean, holy shit, I saw some ridiculous abusable stuff yesterday. By far, the thing that took the cake for me, that I can't believe is in the game and I think needs to be fixed. I'm fighting a Ken. It's the end of a round. Both the Ken and I have this much health, okay? Ken does an unsafe move. I do a perfect parry, which freezes the game, and is supposed to give you advantage to get a counter hit and win the match. I go to do my move. The Ken mashes Overdrive Dragon Punch, and his Overdrive Dragon Punch canceled out the screen freeze and hit me before my move came out. I did my move. You could see it coming out. His move came out first. How does that even make sense? That means at any time if you perfect parry Ken, they can just mash OD Dragon Punch and stuff whatever you're doing, making parrying completely worthless. What was Capcom thinking? This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in a fighting game. You might as well not even bother. And so, absolutely, this needs to be fixed. I mean, how the fuck they missed this, I have no idea. Because this is back in the day in Street Fighter 4, this used to be an issue online, where because you were playing online, people could just mash EX Dragon Punch, and it would beat pretty much everything in the game. Since then, Capcom made it not as abusable. Now, all of a sudden, it's abusable again? What the hell are they doing? I couldn't believe it. I was like, I literally did everything correct. I parried perfectly to counter his unsafe move. Now it's time for me to easily win the round because I should be rewarded for my perfect timing. No, they can just mash this move out anyway and counteract whatever you're doing. And I was like... So that's, there's things when you're starting to play at this level, you're going to realize about the game that are pretty broken. Ken, by far, is the most broken character in this game. He just is. Everything he does is safe, for the most part. There's one or two things he does that are unsafe, but almost every move he does is recoverable or recovers before you can do anything about it. He has so many moves he can throw out there that are not punishable, right? If you think you can punish it because you perfect parry, he hits you anyway. And it's just ludicrous. Mashing jab beats everything. Literally, whenever you get close to Ken, just mash jab. He knocks you away. He interrupts 90% of the moves of the game mashing jab. Not time, not intentional. I'll just mash the button and keep you off of me. Then it's back to neutral where he can mash his medium punch and drive rush medium punch is so effective. If it hits, dude, he gets an insane combo every time. So he's broken as shit. I do feel like Ken needs to be nerfed. I do, after now playing at higher level, seeing how people who are just playing a flowchart can dominate because the character is overpowered. It's not their play. They're not outperforming. They're not reacting. They're literally playing a pattern. And the pattern is broken, and they need to fix the character. I do feel that's completely unfair, right? It's stupid. People should not be just getting easy wins because they selected a character on the select screen. So, outside of that, there's other things I noticed. But anyway, yesterday, played with Blanca all day long. Here's how it went. Okay, my first session, 48 wins, 27 losses for a 64% win-loss ratio. And I leveled from Diamond 1 star to Diamond 2 star. Okay? During that time frame, I did hit my 1,000th win, which was absolutely amazing. Okay? Absolutely amazing. So I'm excited for that. Then, on my second session, which was the night session, 33 wins and 23 losses. Admittedly, some of the losses were rough because it does seem like there's certain matchups for Blanca that are going to be way more difficult. For example, JP seems to be a character that it's all based on getting in on him and staying close to him. But even then, if he mashes, again, it's mashing a light attack, which is stupid because it's the same thing we can. If he mashes light attack, and he just happens to hit you with a counter hit jab, it leads to a giant wall bounce combo that pushes you back and just basically the round is over. And I don't like that about the character. He's a one-trick pony character. There's no variation to playing JP. It's keep you away, and then when they get close, hit you with a counter hit jab, push you to the wall, and wash, rinse, repeat. There's nothing to him. I don't like that. And I basically got washed by certain characters. JP was one of them. Ken was one that was consistently kicking my ass. And another one, Jury. Because Jury has the ability to keep pushing you back with her projectiles, like on the ground. She has that projectile wave. So that's already makes her safe. You can't really do anything about it. And then she could just rush right behind it and keep the pressure on. And she can keep you locked. Her mid-range kicks and stuff are very high priority. And hey, if they hit, that's it. Giant, dash cancel combo. So I think that mid-screen style of rushdown character is very overpowered right now in the game. But I don't know if, people will find an answer to it or not. I started implementing parrying for the first time yesterday, and the parrying was great. Like, me parrying these rushdown characters was keeping them off of me. They weren't able to stay in my face constantly, and because of the parries, a lot of the times I was able to escape my corner traps and stuff like that, And on top of that, I was starting to trap them well in the corner, okay? And was doing really well in regards to that. So, good stuff. And I hope that People enjoyed the session. The late stream was tougher with 33 wins and 23 losses, so I had a 59% win-loss ratio. So overall yesterday, grand total, you ready for this? 81 wins, all right, and 50 losses. I won way more than I lost yesterday with Blanca. By the time the night was done, I was 3-star diamond with my Blanca, and he is still leveling up, meaning like I was getting foothold into the next tier to get to 4-star diamond, okay? So things are going good with Blanca, and the more that I play with him, the better I'm getting. Now, I am going to give him a break, meaning I'm not picking him for the rest of the week. Maybe I'll do a session of him next week, but for now, I want to give him a rest because we did play with him for 5 hours, and, you know, I'm pleased with the results. By the end of the night, here's the overall results. 1,062 total wins, 802 losses for a 57% win-loss ratio in Street Fighter 6. So, by far, Blanca's my best character right now, but that could change. Overall, playing more with characters like Marisa or whatever, I might do better. We'll have to see how things go long-term. Yeah, but right now, Blanca was doing really well. So people were actually asking me, well, do you think you'll ever get your Blanca to master rank? Well, here's the deal. Could I get my Blanca to master rank? Could I get my Blanca to master rank? It's possible. And when I say it's possible, what I mean is it's probable, but the problem with it is that it would take a lot of time investment. If you didn't see, it took me 5 hours to get my Blanca for 1-star diamond to 3-star diamond. Arguably, to get him from 3-star diamond to 5-star diamond would take 5 to 7 hours, right? To get him to master, especially when people are playing at the highest level there, probably would take me another. So you're talking, you know, another 10, 15 plus hours of gameplay just with Blanca to try to get him to master level. And by the way, I'm sure the higher ranked we get, the more I'm going to lose, which is just going to hinder me more. You see what I'm saying? So my problem here is time. It's not desire and it's not skill. It's time investment. Because if I just play with Blanca, people will get bored. You know, people liked yesterday because it was a day of Blanca, but now knowing that later on this week I'll be playing with different characters, people are excited. If I say, oh, by the way, Monday is Blanca, Wednesday, Blanca, people would be like, oh, dude, more Blanca? Yeah, come on, that's too much. And I hear you. People know me as a variety creator. They don't know me as a top-level pro Street Fighter player who's hardcore focused on getting one character to top level. Do I think I could get Blanca to master level eventually? Yes, if I committed enough time and effort to it. But I don't know if my content creation style can get us there. Being transparent here, I just don't know if it's possible. There's another thing you have to realize, too. For all the time that I've decided to play different characters, everyone else is playing more as well and getting better with their try-hard characters. What does that mean? It means, for example, the longer I wait to play, the more people will be playing who have only played with their character exclusively and they're getting better. So, for example, today, playing a character at 2-star platinum, I'll face a certain level of person. But if I wait a month, I'll be facing a better level of person at 2-star platinum. I will. People who've been playing with those characters for longer and got better at the game. So it gets tougher the further in you wait. I mean, how in the holy hell was I diamond ranked with E Honda on launch day? Do you really think if I played E Honda today at diamond level, I would win a single match? Probably not. And that's the point I'm making. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. The sweats get more intense, as they say. So if I keep playing with Blanca constantly, I could probably hit master within a week or two. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a variety of characters. By the time I go back to Blanca, it very well may be that 3-star diamond that he's at is way harder now, and I haven't played with him, so I'm rusty, and I just lose. This is the nature of competitive fighting games, okay? You know, right now I'm going to go back to Lily and Marisa. I very well might get bodied constantly because I haven't played with them in 2 weeks or more, and I might, you know what I mean? And I might just suck. You know, what I have to do is watch videos to try to absorb tech and stuff with these characters before I play with them. I try to implement that into my game, you know what I mean? We'll have to see. But, yeah, I would love to get Blanca. I would like to at least get one character to master level. That would make me feel pretty good about myself, honestly. Because it's been so long since I played competitive Street Fighter. This is the first time I've actually taken it semi-seriously in over a decade. and I'm actually doing well. No one can deny that I'm actually doing well. I'm actually getting good wins, great gameplay, crazy close matchups, you know. I'm learning, I'm implementing, I'm absorbing, I'm actually studying. First time I've studied a fighting game in so long, man, you know. And I'm having a great time with it, by the way. I am. So, hopefully, I would get someone to master, but it's a big question mark. Because I am not going to just keep constantly playing the same character over and over, so it's a matter of time. Okay? So there you have it. So thank you to everyone who watched. Please watch the videos from yesterday. It's the best gameplay I've ever done of the game. I mean, yes, it's a month into the game, but it's absolutely the best Blanca I've done. Not necessarily top level. I do still drop combos and get very frustrated at it when I do. But my goodness, there was some great stuff in there. Cool quarter mix-ups with Blanca Chan that people didn't know how to defend against that lead to ginormous damage combos. In general, I had a great time. People really enjoyed it who were there live. I don't know about the on-demand viewers. I haven't really checked. I do saw some comments on there that people are liking it. But if you're watching the videos on demand, please remember, like the videos and leave comments. It's critical for engagement. I had a big dip in engagement in June. Why? Because half the footage I put out with Street Fighter 6, for some reason, people are not tending to like or leave comments on the Street Fighter videos. I don't know why. You could simply just put, hey, I'm just leaving this for the algorithm to help you out, brother. That's a comment. It's a valid comment. You know, you're clicking on the video, you see one part of a match that you enjoyed, like the video. This will help this channel tremendously. It sucks because, you know, I actually saw a giant dip in engagement in June, when otherwise everything in June was actually going good, except engagement. So please, if you could, please engage with the Street Fighter videos as you watch them, and that would help a lot. Thank you. Okay? All right. Folks, that's all I got. Let's do shout-outs. We start off today with several shout-outs on the YouTube side of things. We've got Habib Gaming, who became a member this morning, and that actually counted, I believe, as a new membership, which gets us up to 536 members. It'd be great if we could get some more members today. Yesterday, we had great momentum as we had some people gifting tons of memberships to the channel. It certainly would be great if we could get some more momentum on that, okay? So, thank you to Habib Gaming. Jade re-upped his membership for 25 months at the Ultra level and said, yo, what's going on, Jade? It's good to have you here today. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Gavin re-upped his membership for 11 months. Says, can you please say the word acknowledgement? Acknowledgement. Well, you wanted me to say ack. Is that what you wanted to say? Even though when I laugh, I sound nothing like that. When I laugh, I go, ha 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 ha. You think that sounds like ack? It doesn't. It'd have to sound like ack. Like fucking Mars Attacks. So there you go. You got your stupid audio clip. Ack. Amazing. So thank you, Habib Gaming. He says, how's Street Fighter 6 so far? Great. I'm having a great time with it. Like, really, even though I'm not, listen, I'm good at Street Fighter. I would say I'm decent at Street Fighter 6. That's as far as I will go. I won't say I'm good. I'll say I'm decent at Street Fighter 6 and I'm increasing and getting better. But I don't think I'm good at the game yet. But I'm enjoying it. It's the most enjoyable fighting game I've played in a decade. Really. It's that good. They really put the time and effort into this game. The presentation is outstanding, right? The graphics, the animations, the sound effects, all the tech in the game, having so many new things, right? Drive impact, drive reversal, dash cancel, drive rush, parry, perfect parry. There's so many new elements they added into this game that make it so complex and good. So, yeah, I've had a great time, and absolutely, to me, I think it's the best fighting game in a long time, and I'm happy to be playing it, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Okay. Juan Da Ortega has re-upped his membership as well. 12 days, my independence of Colombia. So in 12 days, it's your Independence Day. Well, I hope you're preparing. I hope you have a good holiday. Returnal is the first super chatter of the morning. It says, congrats on your 1,000 wins. Thank you to Returnal for the first super chat of the day. If you haven't noticed, I don't know why on earth I didn't do this to begin with. I abbreviated on our leaderboard down here. It now says last SC instead of last super chat. I mean, that cuts out a bunch of characters. That gives us more space. I have no clue why I had to say last super chat previously, like you don't know what SC stands for. That's pretty stupid. So I fixed it. That should be good moving forward now. Okay. So On the tip side of things, we start off today with a $4.20 tip from Lady Charisma. Thank you for the first tip of the day, Lady Charisma. Let's get this up on the leaderboard and see what Lady Charisma has to say. Shit. I was like, wait a minute. I'm grabbing the wrong thing. I was like, that's not the leaderboard. I'm moving the whole screen. Did you see that? I was moving the whole bar back and forth. That's not right. Okay. So Lady Charisma says the following. I decided to pick up Final Fantasy 16. I can feel where Final Fantasy 14 inspirations came from. I now have no issues with it. I love Final Fantasy 14. I have 500 hours into it, but I know it's not for anyone. Not for anyone. You mean it's not for everyone. I'm sure some people like it. Also, I found out one of the lead combat designers for Devil May Cry 5 worked on Final Fantasy 16. It shows. I'm loving the game so far, but I can see how it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's not really a stream-friendly game. You know, again, I have to say, when I'm playing this game, and 2/3 of every stream, I am bored. And my audience is in agreement. It's not just me. We're all sitting here. We're like, dude, what is going on in this game? They won't shut the fuck up. They're gabbing about bullshit. It's not important. If there's something important to the plot, I don't mind long cutscenes. In fact, I would say the whole intro was long cutscenes, and they were slow paced, but at least they were something interesting about the lore of the game. I was digging it, you know? And then you get to a point, it's like, will they just stop so I can play the game? And they won't. I mean, do you remember that early on we realized if you press the touchpad, you would interrupt a cutscene and it would actually give you additional lore about the world? You realize we stopped doing that on the second stream, right? Because the cutscenes were so abundant, no one wanted to interrupt anything. Like, fuck this. Like, seriously, we don't want that. We just want gameplay. And you know, where is it? You know? So, you might be right. It very well may be a situation where this game, all right, is catered more towards you're going to sit there and play it for yourself, and you want to immerse yourself in reading insane amounts of lore, and even immerse myself in the minutia of the townspeople and things around you that really don't matter. Maybe, you know, if you want to completely immerse yourself in this world, you know. I mean, for example, a lot of people do that with Harry Potter. No, they absolutely do. They love the wizarding world so much. They inundate themselves with so much minutia about the school, about the townspeople, Hogsmeade and shit, and they want to know about every little thing about Harry Hassenpfeffer's magical popcorn popping business and how, you know, he imports Griffin's fucking feathers from the hills, the highlands of the Netherlands, and he puts them into brewing his fucking popcorn. And when you eat the popcorn, you know, it makes your nipples tingle and you do backflips in midair or something, you know. But that has nothing to do with Harry Potter. It's just, it's supplemental information. But a lot of people go crazy about that, right? So maybe that's what they're going for with this game. They're trying to give you so much information and lore about the world. But I don't care about the girls. Seriously, I keep saying this. I don't care about the girl who went missing because she lost her comb. Guess what? That's something for someone else to deal with. I'm the protagonist of the game. I don't need to look for the missing girl who lost her comb. All right? There's like, contact the authorities or something. You know, there should be police or someone involved. You know, look for the missing girl. I have shit to do. I have giant kaiju monsters that I need to fight and fuck up the world with. I have, you know, things going on that are bigger picture than this person sitting on a bench and wants me to bring them a bowl of fucking oatmeal. I don't have time for your shit. I have things to do. You understand? That's not fun to me to waste my time on minutia. In 2023, game devs should know this, but apparently they don't. They're still following the same tropes from 1990s RPGs. How in 30 years they don't think the world has improved, I don't get it. But apparently they don't think so. Okay? So, very simply put, I hope the game gets better. If it doesn't, it is what it is. We'll see how it goes today and Tuesday. But I'm glad you're enjoying the game, Lady Charisma. Thank you for the first tip of the day. And, no, you're absolutely right about the Devil May Cry thing. You are. I mean, you can tell it's inspired by Devil May Cry in a massive way. I just hope that it doesn't get so grindy and repetitive that it's not fun anymore. Because right now, I'll be honest, I'm 15 hours in, and a lot of the combat is starting to feel very samey. So, I hope that's not the case. Okay, more shoutouts on the YouTube side. We have Apollo360, who re-upped his membership for 6 months. Says, have your allergies been better? They've been on and off. So some days I actually wake up and my eyes are completely inflamed, completely like watering, crusted, disgusting. I got drip down my throat constantly. It's bothering me crazy. And those days I got to take an allergy pill. Some days no. Today no. Today I woke up. I got a little bit of congestion, but for the most part it's not that bad. Maybe a little bit in my throat, but not that bad. It's on and off. I think it depends on the day. Like today, it's cloudy outside. So because it's cloudy, nothing's in crazy amounts of full bloom, right? If it was super sunny outside, usually there's more pollen in the air and then it hits me. So yeah, it's on and off. I got discounted allergy meds. Remember I told you about a month ago we went to Bed Bath & Beyond and they're doing their big clear out sale because they're going out of business. I think they only have like 1 week left and they're completely out of business. So we went there. We got like really big, deep discount allergy meds. I got, what was it called? Zysol. And I also got Flonase. So I got both. For whatever I need for the rest of the season, hopefully it's enough. So I guess we'll see. Okay? All right. My nose itches. Balzac became a channel member this morning. Thank you to Balzac for the membership. That gets us up to 537 and climbing. I appreciate that. Welcome to the streams, and I hope you have a good time. Arkham just did a super chat and said, I just watched I just watched the new Indiana Jones movie yesterday night. I give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah, seems like sadly the consensus is it's another dud of a movie. It's nowhere near as good as the original trilogy. They probably shouldn't have made it. Because, number one, Harrison Ford is so old, there's absolutely no way he can pull off action. How is he going to when he's that old? You shouldn't expect him to, right? It's ludicrous that they think that that's realistic. I've heard the best part of the movie, there's flashback segments where they digitally de-age him, and they say that that's the best parts of the movie. Although it looks a little weird, it's still fun to see like young Indiana Jones, you know, from like the original trilogy. But now, you know, then it goes back to the present, or whatever the present day is in the movie, and it's just not that good, right? So, whatever. I hated Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I really did. I thought it was a terrible movie, and I'm likely not even going to bother seeing Dial of Destiny. Anyway. All right. Continuing on. I received a $1 tip from a troll, so I ignored the troll. This is amazing how people, they still tip to think that I'm going to like read what they say. I never do. They're just that stupid. They're just that dumb. All right. All right, guys. We'll entertain a few questions. And what I mean by that is we'll do a very shortened version of Q&A. Normally I would go all the way till 12:30, but like I said, I do want to start with Final Fantasy 16 earlier because we will be interrupted at some point this afternoon. I just don't know when. So since that's the case, you know, if you could bear with me, and let's do a little bit of Q&A here before we jump into Final Fantasy, okay? Alright, so Libsian says, don't drop Final Fantasy. Even if you skip all side content, it still won't take long if you just do the story. The story and amazing fights are worth playing. I did buy it. I did spend my $70. It does kind of make sense to at least see what the story's about, right? Casanova says he compares my trolls to Sloth and the Goonies. That's really messed up. I can't believe you would say that. Jade says, I don't know if I love Final Fantasy 16 story. It's just so long and slow. But I do like, I don't know what the second half of what you said there was, Jade. I think it got screwed up in translation. North Scout says, what techniques do I use to keep myself awake when playing Final Fantasy 16? Well, I do have to frequently pinch myself to remind myself I'm awake. This is not a dream, and the game actually is this boring. So I have to like go, oh, okay, now I'm still here. And then sometimes you got to apply, it's called the facial slap. When you have big, chubby jowls like I do, it's kind of hard to keep yourself awake. Even a regular slap, like you don't really feel it. So you have to do a technique. So what I do is that you go. Okay, then you go. Okay, then you go, and you slap, and then, if you get to a really boring part, like if they want you to bring the bowl of oatmeal to someone, now you got to go for the ultimate double slapper. You got to go, oh, woo, woo. Okay. My odd experience, he says, do you use caffeine? I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning with my breakfast. And then sometimes, well, usually, I have a cup of coffee later on in the day before my second stream. So I have 2 cups of coffee a day usually, and that's enough to get me through the day. There we go. Pat the Trickster says, I really like Final Fantasy 16. I did all the side quests. Honestly, I suspect I might have even loved the game more if I stuck with the main story. So Pat the Trickster played the whole game and feels like basically the side content's a waste and would have liked it better just to do the story. There you go. Jade, oh, okay. So Jade says he'll be here talking to chat, but he doesn't know if he'll pay attention too much to the game today. I think that's what he's saying. Okay. D-Man says, for a horror recommendation, play Slenderman The Arrival. It has good jump scares. Isn't that an old-ass game? Isn't that the game that was supposed to be like the follow-up to the original Slenderman game, right? I think it is, right? Old, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misinformed. Wouldn't be the first time. Final Fantasy 16 even has a new game plus. People would want to play it a second time, huh? Wow. Wow. Why do I praise the Yakuza games when they have really long cutscenes like Final Fantasy 16? Well, fair enough. That's a good comparison. What I would say is you're right. There are significantly amount of side missions in Yakuza games that aren't as good. But also Yakuza games have really good side missions. Like some of the side content of Yakuza games is on par with the main freaking story. Really, it is. Take a look at Lost Judgment. Same company, same style of game. There's an entire segment of the game that's like 25 hours long. School stories. That's essentially a second game they added in for free. You didn't pay for it. It was in the main game. And it is crazy good. And it's just as good as the writing of the main storyline. Take a look at some of the funny storylines in Yakuza games over the years. The ghost, right? Someone pretending to be a ghost to scare people away so to keep the rent prices low where they're living and stuff like that. Those are funny and interesting stories. Do they add to the main story of the game? Not really, but at least they're entertaining. I'm sorry. The majority of the side missions here that I've done are not entertaining. There are time wasters. They're literally in there to say, we have side content. Then don't have the side content. If you can't find meaning in the side content to either entertain or give valuable experience or give items you need that'll help you in the main campaign, then don't have the side content. Just cut it out. We don't need it. We don't want filler anymore. We've had enough. There's enough bloat in the world. We're all overweight as it is. We don't need more. We have big sagging, flapping skin fat pouches on our bodies. We don't need big sagging side content flapping pouches in our games. You understand? That's a really disgusting comparison. Oh my god. Do I play only new games? Absolutely not. I play retro games when appropriate. In fact, I just played Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster back in May. And I play retro games from time to time. I actually feel like I want to play retro games for August to celebrate my 15-year anniversary as a content creator. We'll probably go back and play a couple games from my past that are really old playthroughs to redo them in a modern manner. But I also like to probably go back and do some throwback games. I don't know if you guys have ideas. Like Super Mario Brothers 3 or something like that. Like, I want to do like a retro playthrough for August too. I think that would be neat. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Should they make an Indiana Jones game? Ugh. They could. They could make a modern one, I'm sure. I mean, the thing is, like, Indiana Jones probably would very much fit in with the formula of Tomb Raider games, right? And there's been so many, you know, they could do it. I don't know if it would be popular. Like, this latest movie is flopping. Did you know? This latest movie is not doing well at the box office compared to what they expected. They thought it would be a summer blockbuster, and it's more of a summer meh. It's not a huge flop or anything, but people are just not going in droves to see this movie, likely because they don't think that Harrison Ford at 80 years old is Indiana Jones anymore. So, you know, it is what it is, but I don't know if the game would sell well, because does anyone even care about the IP that much anymore, right? All right, guys, last chance. If you want to tag me in the chat and ask a question, then we're going to get ready to start the game, because like I said, I know we're getting interrupted this afternoon, so I want to start sooner rather than later. Is the chat working, or did it crash again? Oh, no, I think the chat crashed again. This is the second time. It did. This is the second time during today's stream the chat has completely crashed. It froze for 3 minutes now and counting. Pfft. Okay, everyone, I know you're still there because they're now clicking those symbols again. Remember I told you there's the chat, like emote buttons, like the happy face, the surprise face, the 100, and the party horn. People are clicking it, and it's going crazy on the side of the chat. So I know you're there. I know you guys didn't go anywhere, but the chat froze again. Second time. What is going on with the chat today? Well, I can't really do an interactive podcast when I can't interact because you guys are frozen. This sucks. So maybe it makes sense to end the pod. Maybe this is a sign that I should end the podcast here, and then we should get ready, get set up for Final Fantasy 16. I guess it's a good sign. All right. So once again, just to remind everyone as we're adjourning here, we're about to start with Final Fantasy 16. There will be an interruption. Oh, now the chat just unfroze, by the way. It took 4 minutes to unfreeze. So there will be an interruption. I don't know when it's going to be. It's going to be at some point during today's Final Fantasy 16 stream. I also don't know how long the interruption would be. I would say minimum a half an hour, but it could be longer. I don't know. If and when I know what's going on, I will let you all know. All right? I will make you aware of what's going on, so that way we can, I can give you an update. If the interruption happens early, then I'll go on an extended break on the stream, and when I come back from the break, I'll let you know by posting up on the community tab of the channel, as well as on Twitter, and of course I'll talk in the chat, say, hey everyone, I'm back, to try to get people back for the stream. So I'll leave it running if the interruption is early. If the interruption is later, all right, then I will basically let you know what's going on with that. In fact, you know what? I might have just gotten a phone call. In regards to this, which is absolutely hilarious because I had my phone on ring and it didn't ring. So that really worked. All right. Let's end the podcast, everyone. Maybe I'll have an update for you momentarily, all right? Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the show, and I hope that you will continue to enjoy the content here on DSP Gaming. Thank you so very much, and see you tomorrow.